What about drug companies? I would think that they would want to be a part of what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that's another part of it. They are very interested. So we gave presentations at the Leiomyosarcoma Foundation. They came to UCLA. I presented the PDOCs, the mouse model stuff, and it was a summary of our study. And on that study, there was 10 leiomyosarcoma xenografts, right? And I think that is, I mean, from a company point of view, obviously very appealing, but to me, it's more about the patient. And you know, driving down, we talked about my other patient where he's failed everything, and the recommendation is he's recurred all over his leg, and the recommendation from the physician or the surgeon in San Diego was to take off his leg at the hip, which is non-curative. And he's walking around fine, and he's failed all the drugs, and it's just basically you wait and do nothing, take his leg off of the hip, or try something different. So I took a component of his tumor out about 2 months ago, and it grew in the mice, and we're testing the drugs. And you know, it gives us hope, but he's excited about it as well. I think it's changing the way I'm thinking about approaching these tumors. You know, it's not just taking the tumor out and then sending the patient off.
Yeah.
And for patients with rare tumors like these, which you know, medicine doesn't really know a lot about, it really offers you another avenue to try to you know, beat these tumors. And you know, it's a sad thing, even in this era, that people with rare tumors, it's, you know, it's so little is known about them, so little research is done. And you know, this affords patients, you know, a tangible way to actually try to do something proactive about their tumors. And you know, in this patient's case, this is exactly what we're doing right now, and in your case too. You know.
Do you think you'll make eventually like a database of everything you've done? You know, did this on this tumor in this mouse, so that people can look at it online and be able to?
Oh, definitely. You know, so since we've started, we've built quite a large database, and it has everybody's information. You know, how long the tumors take to establish, what types of treatments they've had before, and oncologists such as myself annotate the database to put in different drugs to treat for the individual types of tumors. You know, take into consideration what's been done before, what types of mutations we've seen on Foundation and other types of next generation sequencing platforms, and to pick unique drugs to target these tumors that are not just regularly available. And yeah, so that's the beginning, but in the future, once we have more and more data, that will also be made available to anyone to look at.
I think that it gives a lot of people hope. A lot of times I see different people sitting with me at chemo, and you know, if someone has breast cancer, people say, oh, you're going to be just fine. My aunt had that and she was great. But there's so many different types of breast cancer, you don't necessarily know if the standard will work on them. So if someone has a rare breast cancer, to be able to come to you and say, can you make a mouse model of this?
Well, any cancer that is unresponsive to traditional chemotherapy, which is not an insignificant amount, so long, you name it. I mean, just because you have a more common cancer doesn't mean it's going to respond.
Right.
I mean, look, in a perfect world, everybody would have a model created. There's no question about it. I mean, it's a backup, it's a safety. So as long as it's done early.
Right.
But if it doesn't work, if the first line or traditional or the chemotherapy that works on a large pool of patients doesn't work on you, what do? I mean, that's the, you know, and right now it's not much. I don't know, I think each individual patient's cancer is unique, and just like each person is unique. And I think the concept of personalized medicine is right, it's appropriate, but I think the ultimate personalized medicine is to have your tumor modeled, basically. You know, the last, we talked about this coming down, the last preclinical step before any drug or treatment goes to clinical trial is, does it work in human tumors and mice, basically. And that process, though, just has never been individualized.
Right.
And the question is, can we individualize that process. And I don't see any reason why not.